Yes, people. I'm talking concerning the situation that has been brewing in Vieux for a while now. Now, you see, a lot of times we look at things from a myopic perspective. We only look at things from on the surface. We never really think deeply on things. When you look at Vieux is a place where you have a deep sea harbor, you have an international airport, the bigger of the two airports that we have, and yet still there is very weak economic activity taking place in Vieux. In any of these islands where you really want to, or where you will see development, where you will see growth, where you see projects going on, two important things that you need is a deep sea harbor and an international airport. And both of these things are found in Vieux. Yet for years there have been no real development, no real growth in Vieux for years. And this is something I've been asking for many years. Why after all of these years nothing is happening? And the only thing that seemed to have been promising was the project that they had earmarked for Vieux. This thing where they wanted to construct hotels and the horseback riding project that they had going on. But it's a good project, but one of the problems I have is of the fact that you will list your best lands in the area to some foreign entity for 99 years. Now, when you look at the situation, when a local, when these same lands in that same area was being listed to locals, they were being listed for around 1,400, 1,300, 1,400 thereabout dollars per acre per year. That's for a local person. If you're from St. Lucia and you want to do a project in the Vieux area, they will charge you 1,300, 1,400 EC dollars per acre per year. But these very lands were leased to the Chinese conglomerate for 99 US cents per acre per year. So then you see why these are some of the reasons why you do not really see too many big projects coming out of the locals. And so what we have is a mentality among all these successive governments that what they're really looking for, what they're fishing for is what they call direct foreign investments. Their whole thing, their whole prayer, their reason for living is to get foreigners to come and invest in the country. Whereas the people who are from the place, there are so many impediments to growth and development when they want to start a project. When you listen, you will listen to locals. These same lands that you list to these Chinese people for 99 US cents per acre per year, you will listen it to the locals. You will listen it to locals for 1,200, 1,400 EC dollars per acre per year. So you see, these are some of the reasons why people find it difficult to advance because you are putting impediments to the growth of your own people. Perhaps more people could have been investing if it was probably more reasonable to do things. Local people could have done more. The other thing that is happening is when a local want to invest in places like Vieux, they will ask you to send in a proposal. They will ask you to send a proposal. They want you to give them all your ideas, whatever, all you plan to do. Then the thing that they will do, I'm telling you people, I know what I'm talking about. These people will call people from your community and ask them. Some of them will, certain people, when the project reach a certain level, they will call people from your community and ask them which political party that you support. And if you're on the wrong side, They will just not help you. They will send a letter to you saying, we receive a letter from you requesting the use of lands or whatever, but at this time we do not have any. We keep your name on file, and if anything should come, we will let you know. You see, what happened is they create impediments for you when you want to do something in the country, but they open up the door, they fly the gates and letting every pirate from other countries come in. So we have that situation in Vieux where you have little boys killing each other, and for different reasons. Sometimes you may never know the real reason why the killing is happening. You see, a lot of people in St. Lucia, sometimes what they do, they're quick to just come to conclusions without having any idea of what is happening. And I will not go based on what these people are saying. I do not understand why the people are killing each other, but that thing is going on. It is very bad when you have a country and for little boys to be sending messages on social media saying that we're allowing you all to shop, but as soon as you buy your things, get out of town, or we do not want to see you moving too much or whatever, and you will get it if you stick around too long or some foolishness like that. In a democratic society, and the thing is, not on and I'm not talking on political levels, on a personal level, although I do not really know Philip J. Pierre, but on a personal level, because of what he has been through, his achievement, I believe that I kind of support him in being prime minister. But I'm not happy with that decision to bring in um, the RSS, they call them the paramilitary people from the Caribbean. Because to me, it kind of shows that you kind of divesting your responsibilities. This is something that should have been handled indoors with pride. That should have been handled indoors with pride. But when for some situation like that, you have to bring in RSS. It shows that you kind of running away from your responsibility, and it does not show strength. And I really do not like that decision that Pierre has taken to bring in the RSS. I think that is something that should have been handled. And I'm not saying that we should not get others involved. Because one of the things that I believe is, even at the highest positions of the police force, I believe that for the most part, sometimes you need to have people from outside sometimes. Or even mid-level, you need to have people from outside sometimes. Or even the ordinary policemen, sometimes you can have, even out of the, I don't know, 600 and something police, I do not know how many they have. You can have probably 40 policemen from the other parts of the Caribbean, and you have probably two in Ancillary Police Station, two in Lakai Police Station, but you need to have people from other countries, from the ordinary officer to commissioner. Sometimes you need to have people from other countries to assume to help us in the police thing that is going on. And it is not when things, as they say, the rubber hits the road, we're trying to get people from other places to help. You understand? But the other thing about Vieux, people who own lands in Vieux, people who own buildings in Vieux, do not sell your property because of what is happening. Because sometimes what is happening is, we have seen in certain parts of the world, there are people who would engineer these kind of things, engineer this kind of confusion, engineer this gang violence to cause people to leave the community, sell your property and move. And what will happen is, if you sell your property, these very people who are creating the chaos will end up buying your property for cents on the dollar, and then they will clean up the place. And you will see how fast they will clean up Vieux. And then they will establish their malls and their marinas and everything in Vieux. So if you have your land and your property and your business is in Vieux, Do not sell your property because of what is happening in Vieux right now. Because sometimes that is a deliberate ploy, that is deliberate engineering to get you to sell your property for next to nothing, because some people have plans to redevelop Vieux and really get top dollar for their property or whatever business that they're going to get involved in. And so the other thing is, these things that are happening in Vieux, we need to understand that these things are not things that are happening overnight. And there are different people in different institutions that are instigating some of these things that are happening, even by their works and some of the things that they have done over time. There was a situation I saw one time in a courthouse in Castries. There's a guy that they arrested with a firearm. And so when he was brought before the magistrate, his lawyer told the magistrate that the guy had some other brother or brothers that were killed before. And he was walking on the road and he found a gun. Because of the fear that he has, as a result of what transpired with his brothers, he picked up the gun and he took the gun. And he was arrested by the police. Then I think they charged him a certain amount of money. His lawyer cried and said that the guy is just an ordinary farmer, he doesn't make much money, give him time to pay the money. So the magistrate agreed, we're going to give him a certain amount of time. Then, if I could recall, he asked him to if he could pay less money, and all the time the magistrate was agreeing. For a guy who had a firearm, he was not licensed to have a firearm, and he had the firearm. And then that same magistrate guy, you will hear him come on the radio or TV or whatever it is. I saw him sometime making making it look like he knows so much. He's so educated about crime and what is causing crime and how to solve crime and all of that. Whereas these guys are the ones who are responsible for a lot of the things that are happening in the land. You see, one of the things that we need to understand is that we are fighting against forces that we cannot see. There are spiritual forces, dirty forces in high and low places that we are fighting against, even as it relates to even all this crime situation that we see going on. So sometimes everybody just wants to look at it from a natural perspective, whereas it is not. And so when you talk about these elements or these aspects of crime, the spiritual aspects of crime, people tend to look at you very strangely. But sometimes the people that will tell you they don't believe in that, they are the ones that are really behind a lot of the mayhem that is going on. Let me tell you something. There are two forces that is controlling the world. And there is some place in the Bible that said there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and they were cast down. And one third of the angels that were up in the there are some of those that are actually responsible for some of the crimes that are taking place in places like Vieux and all of that. A lot of the mayhems and a lot of the things that are happening. But at the same time, we have our part to play. You have a brain and you have to use it too. You cannot have a situation where you know of violence that is being perpetuated in your community and in your countries, and you're hiding it, you're covering it up. And it is also said that some of the politicians have benefited from those same crime, the same guys committing the crime right now. Some of these people have benefited from the services of those guys in election time. These were their boys in elections. These were their goons.